Today is the solemnity of the Most Holy Trinity. It's a powerful solemnity that we really need for our time. Why? In our time, in the 21st century, we are experiencing those philosophies and ideas that say that there is no God and that we as humans fully comprehend the universe we are in, and so we can create our own world based on that idea. Any philosophy, idea, political policy, whatever you can find that cites Friedrich Nietzsche is based out of that concept. Friedrich Nietzsche taught that God is dead, and therefore, along with that, is we are now gods, therefore we can change the rules, we can create the world as we want. When you walk down any kind of path that recognizes either no God or a divinity that is less than the real God, then you enter into a smaller world. Let me give you an example. We see in our first reading the story of Moses, and Moses is up on the mount and he's encountering God, and God is teaching him the 10 Commandments. We see in time that he experiences just a tiny part of the very glory of God. We learn in time that when he experiences God's glory, not only does he become transformed, but the transformation is so powerful that he has to hide his face because people will be severely affected by looking upon that which looked upon God. This is this powerful transformation that Moses goes through. He encounters just a tiny bit of the glory of God and realizes something that is beyond anything you and I can fully comprehend. Or you can be like the people at the bottom of the mount who say, Moses is dead, we haven't seen him in 40 days, so let's build our own God, and they create the golden calf. Literally in their own image, literally can reflect their own image. This is the calf that we wanted to create. This is our God now. We tell it what we want, and it tells us what it wants, and between the two of us, we end up being slaves to each other. You see, once we turn around and we say there is no God, we enter into that world that says that everything that exists in the universe is that within our field of perception. But the reality is God teaches us that that which exists in the universe is so much greater, and some of it beyond our field of perception, including God and all the celestial beings, that we realize we are just one of a small part of the great thing that is creation and the great reality that is the source of all being. So we always have that choice. Do we humble ourselves before the great power of God? Do we allow God to transform us? Do we allow God to show us that which would be beyond our imagination? Or do we create the God in our own image, whether it's money, whether it's power, whether it's sex, whether it's fame, whatever the case may be? That God will be smaller than the real God who says, come follow me. Our God is a God of surprises. Now, if you want to see a very concrete example of that, occasionally you'll have people who come back to church, and they haven't been at church in decades, and they'll come to me and they'll say, Father, I want to go to confession, but I'm going to warn you that my confession is going to last for a long, long time because I haven't been to confession for decades. Those confessions are always my shortest. And I'll explain to them that when they realize they weren't in confession as long as they expected, it's just because you spent 30 years sinning, but you spent 30 years sinning a smaller group of sins because your world surrounded those sins. So you may have got caught in alcoholism, so you got drunk billions of times, but look at how your world was surrounded by a bottle, and how your entire world and that all that greatness that God gave you was reduced to a bottle. That's what we do when we turn and say there is no God. We're going to embrace our own God. So today is the day where we celebrate the power of the living God, that which is greater than anything we could experience, and we look at that powerful God and the reality that He is the God of surprise who is beyond us. And the more we humble ourselves before Him, the more we allow Him to transform us individually and in the community, the more we discover the reality that is beyond our perception and our field of vision. God bless you.